And you went to Claflin, so at halftime, y'all didn't have a football team, but I went to Livingstone and we did, so I got to play the band. You know that song, Coach? You can dance if you want to.
Oh, man. I'm having hip surgery in May, so I don't need to be doing much dancing. But you know, but Claflin not having a football. I think a school without a football program, I think it's always something missing.
Yeah, it is. Because you know football. You know Ed Brown, your former player.
Yeah.
So Ed and I Ed's a little older than me, but we were at Livingstone together. And one thing I know about football starts everything. So if your football team's good, the season, your whole school year is gonna flow perfect. It's gonna flow the right way. You don't have to wait to get ramped up because you already ramped up in August, all the way August, get the playoffs, and then that's gonna help every other sport be successful. But then when you go
and all that stuff, you got all that homecoming stuff. See, homecoming football and homecoming basketball are two different things.
I don't even see how they do it, Coach. How's a homecoming basketball?
Oh man, sucks. Matter of fact, I wouldn't call it homecoming. They have parade.
They got a parade?
Oh yeah, big parade. I mean, Claflin have a big parade. And then they have a basketball game.
Yeah.
That was
Do they have queens and stuff like that?
Yeah. They had all that. I mean, they had they had the homecoming and everything except for the football game after that afternoon. Man. They had basketball game in that afternoon, and that's not the same. It's not the same.
And it's cold because it's basketball season.
We used to have it in November at Claflin. I think that's when our homecoming was.
Okay, so November. Okay, so that's probably around still football season.
It wasn't too bad, but still, nobody. It's still not the same. I didn't even go to the game.
So Coach, it's nothing like HBCU homecoming football. You playing a game.
At the band
up, and you smell that fish cooking.
That's right.
Hot grease, somebody got funnel cakes. It's just an electric environment.
That's right. Tailgating and all that kind of stuff. See, homecoming with basketball, you don't have all that tailgating and all that kind of stuff. I know we did.
You eating popcorn.
Yeah. Well, they may have had it later on. I don't know, but I know. I stopped going because after I graduated, I said, man, shit, I ain't going to basketball game. I go to State's homecoming.
Oh, yeah, right across the street, yeah.
Yeah, I go there and tailgate and everything else, and then you get the bands and all that stuff. So you don't have
it's a beautiful thing, ain't it, Coach?
Yeah, man, I tell you, so anyway, that's one thing you missed, but going to a school that didn't have football.
Yeah, see, and my wife went to UNC Charlotte, and they just got their football team a little bit ago, and that's what she always said. I wish I'd have went to a school because they was good in basketball. She said, I wish I went to a school who had a real good football, a football team, period, because it's a different experience.
It's a whole different experience. And matter of fact, you get the alumni, they'll come back, and I think in Coastal Carolina is a prime example. Once you start a football program, then the campus fills up with students.
Yeah, because because if you don't have a football team, what you end up having is a commuter campus.
That's right.
Every Friday night, they gone.
They gone.
Nobody's gonna be on campus.
That's right. And so, see, it's like Friday nights. In college, you got your bonfires and your pep rallies and all that kind of stuff, man. Can't beat it. But Coastal, I mean, once they got that football program rolling and going, I mean, their enrollment increased tenfold.
Yeah. I think it's worth it if they can afford it, do it. But I know
a lot of y'all,
because I remember when I was at Livingstone, Benedict just started theirs back up.
Yeah. See, I was there with Benedict. They had a football team. But I wasn't there but a semester, so I wasn't part of that. Mm-hmm. They had a team, but then they lost it. but then they started back up again. But you're right.
Oh yeah, it started. Yeah,
and I think they're glad that they did too. I know it's tough sometimes. They got a nice stadium over there, but we played.
It's nice. Yeah,
we played in 2013 for a state championship over there in football.
They got that field turf, don't they?
Yeah. In fact, my kids never played on anything like that.
I didn't play on field turf until college. Yeah.
Well, now I look at Florence. All the schools in Florence now, they're building new stadiums at each school, and all those schools got field turf now. Every school in Florence.
Coach, it's something about that grass during the season that I like to get in that grass and smell it, and it's just that, and early morning practices when that dew on the ground, and I don't want to be on the ground, but it's like, oh man, I got to get on the ground. It's something about I don't know. I just like grass because I guess I grew up all on it, and I don't want to be getting scratched up on no field turf.
That's all we knew. I mean, we know about field turf.
Because we used to, at Hampton, we would walk, like every time we went on an away game, we had to walk the field just to make sure they don't have any holes or and all that kind of stuff. But with field turf, you ain't even got to walk the field. You just got to, okay.
Well, but you might
field
always marked.
Yeah.
Nobody's got to mark it off. Coach, if you've done any coaching, you've been a part of that marking off pro.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So you did that.
Yeah, grass cutting and marking off. Hey man, you doing that.
So great job, Coach. So we're gonna start our third quarter, and we will talk about Clover and then Timmonsville, your first jobs.
Okay.
So third quarter, here we go. So you left Claflin, PE major, went back home. You took it back home, Coach.
Yep.
Why home? Home was comfortable.
Yeah, well, I got a job.
You got to eat, don't you?
That's what I'm saying. I got a job, and I said, well, that's my first job. I said, well, gosh. I said, I'll do this, and they wanted me to teach a resource. I said, okay, I'll do that too. And then I got a chance to be assistant coach the JV basketball.
Okay.
And was on the JV football staff, and then of course naturally on Friday night you helped out with the varsity too.
Yep, with the varsity, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And so I knew everybody knew me, and hey, so it's an experience to coach in your hometown.
Tell me about it, because I never had that experience, Coach. Tell me how.
Well, see. You're a big shot. You're back home. You're on the home team. You're the coaching staff, and I was just kidding about the big shot deal. But everybody knew you, and I knew they knew of me in high school because of football and basketball. Because I played both, and was pretty decent in it. And now I was able to coach, and I knew a lot of the parents, of the kids that's there anyway. So it's a neat experience to be able to go back and coach in your own hometown.
Yeah.
Now, for how long you don't want to stay too long.
Well, you don't want to wear out your welcome, do you?
That's right, because the team is not doing good. They run you out of town just like they run everybody else out.
They will, and that's your hometown, and they don't care, do they?
They don't care. They try to win. They want to win. They don't care. So, but it was an experience there. And so when I left there, I came to Timmonsville.
Timmonsville. Tell me about that transition.
Well, I was courting my wife, and because we, I was going back and forth.
1 second, Coach. Now this is 2021. These young people don't know what courting means. You gotta tell them what courting is.
Oh, okay. I mean when you go see somebody and you're up in their face all the time.
That's right. That's courting. Got it. See,
it's gritted.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would leave on Friday night sometime after the game, and I'd ride to Florence.
Okay, so she was from that area.
Yeah, well, she's from Florence. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And so So I would leave on Friday nights, and sometimes on some games I didn't have to go on the road, so I would leave on Friday and come down here and stay on Friday.
Oh yeah.
In Florence, and then come back Sunday and get. So I did that for a year.
Mm.
And then after we got married, she got me the interview at Timmonsville.
Yeah.
I told her, she said, I think they're looking for a coach in Timmonsville. I said, what is Timmonsville? I never knew what Timmonsville was. So anyway, so I went there and interviewed the superintendent. He hired me right on the spot. So,
that's what I'm talking about. Best decision in his life.
But said, listen, if you don't like it, they say try for 1 year, come on back. We give you a raise and see, Clover and Timmonsville was like night and day.
Yeah, night and day.
Money didn't spend in Clover, and Timmonsville there was no money. You know, for the operation programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but he told me that he said try for 1 year, and then if you don't like it, come on back to Clover. I said okay, I'll give it a 1 year deal. And that was 40 years later, 40 years ago. I was there for a year.
So because when you got to Timmonsville, like you said, it was no money, not some money, but no money.
It was terrible.
How did you build that program?
Well, first of all, it was, you know, I looked at the equipment situation there. It was terrible, horrible. It was horrible. I mean, you couldn't believe what they were asking these kids to play in. And then, you know, it was a little small town, the back of town.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody really played much football. You know, there wasn't a tradition there.
Yeah.
They won 3 or 4 games a year. They was lucky.
It was happy.
Well, a big year. And you win 2 or 3 games. So I said, whoa, what am I into? But, you know, I accepted the challenge. And so we I was lucky enough to have an assistant coach there that, you know, he's pretty decent guy. He coached basketball, but he helped me with football too. So we only had 2 coaches, he and I. And so you start the process. You go with what you know.
That's right.
So my first year, I skated 2 a days, like I do up in Clover.
That's right.
With camp 2 a days, because we didn't have money to go to camp, Timmonsville. So I went to Timmonsville. I said, okay, we're gonna start with 2 a days. All right, first morning I had 2 people. 2
people 2 a days?
Yeah. 2 people showed up. I said, what the heck? Okay. And then the afternoon practice, I had about 17.
Okay.
I said, okay. So the next morning, I had practice. I had one guy. I had one. I said, I need to go find out what's happening here. So I went and talked to some of the people that there and said, Coach, this is the back of town. In the morning, they're in the battlefield.
Okay, they're in the field.
Yeah, they're in the field. They're in the field proper in the back. Then in the afternoon, you know, they get off, and then they out of the field. Then they come to football practice.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
So after being in that hot tobacco field, they come into practice.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so the deal is, so I learned from there, like we talked about earlier. So you have to monitor and adjust. I said, okay.
Monitor and adjust.
I only have 1 of these.
Yeah.
And we'll start at 7 o'clock. So it gives you time to get out the fields, get a little bit of rest, and then head to the football practice.
Yes, sir.
And we did that for years, you know. But yeah, they would go to the back. And so you have to worry about conditioning, you know, but there was no air conditioning or any of that in the buildings anyway. So you didn't worry about conditioning, because if a guy worked in the battlefield all day and then practice football, he's in pretty good shape.
So you didn't really have to do a lot of running.
Nah, because you didn't have to, because like I said, if you've been in the field all day and then you practicing football for 2 hours, you're in pretty good shape.
Yes, sir. You are.
And so for us, you have to be in pretty good shape anyway, because I mean, if you had 21 players, you were lucky. When I first started, if I had 21 players, man, I was lucky.
So 21, that's Iron Man football. Everybody get to play.
Oh yeah, yeah. And like in Timmonsville, it was a basketball school.
Okay.
So I might have 20 people out for football, or 22 or 24 or whatever, and then some of them would, wasn't that good, or either one or two would quit. But then basketball season started, you had 50 people, 60 people in the gym.
Trying to play.
Yeah, going out for the team. What did they keep it? 12.
Yeah.
Or maybe 15. And so I knew the deal. I said, well, you got about 50 players out here for basketball. And so, but about 2 years later, my football and basketball coach, he left and went to Charleston. So I took over the basketball program.
Got it. Yeah.
And so my first rule was, if you didn't play basketball, if you didn't play football, you can't play basketball.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, that.
Yeah. Well, that was my first rule. Because somebody carried me to the school board.
No, they didn't.
Oh yeah, the parents did. So the board chairman said, "Well, Coach Tate running football, whatever you say, that's what we're gonna do," and that was it.
So the chairman had your back.
If you played football, if you played basketball, if you played basketball, if you didn't play basketball, then you couldn't play football.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah.
Then the numbers picked up.
Yeah.
And some of the guys I didn't want out there anyway, so I let them go. I said, okay, you don't have to play. You can go. But
yeah.
But I had some studs, man. Them guys, all they were doing sitting around waiting on basketball season.
Just waiting, yeah. And they could have helped the school out, and they'd help themselves out be a better basketball player.
They did. Matter of fact, the kid from Lamar, his mother worked in the lunchroom. He never played anything but basketball until his senior year. Can't think of his name right now, but he's an NFL player. He's all-star NFL. I can't think of the boy's name right now. Anyway, he played for Lamar High School.
Mm-hmm.
But he's one of those kind that they only play football. They don't play basketball.
Yes,
so
sir.
The coach convinced him to come out his senior year with the USC and ended up in the NFL.
Because all these sports help each other out, especially when you're a 1A school. It's like, I don't think a lot of people realize what 1A schools have to go through. You don't have a lot of players.
Well, see,
you don't have that.
Well, that was our big joke because when I got to the Shrine Bowl and in the North South, and we used to laugh at these coaches, I said, you got to coach football till you coach 1A football. So you got to coach 1A football. There's a difference than 4A and 1A football.
Mm-hmm. It's a big difference.
Oh man, yeah, because
1A and 4A is probably like JV to college.
Well, it probably is. But see, my thing is this: if you got 20. If you 1A and got 24 people out, man, you got to put a little crowd out there for this school. And if you got 30, oh man, good Lord. But most of the time you'd have about 22,
22, yeah.
I have coached with 17 football players. And you have to practice now. So when your offense is on the field, whatever's left over there is on defense.
Yeah.
And so you tell them, you say, okay, you got imaginary secondary, you got imaginary safety back there. He said, but coach, what am I supposed to do? I said, he'll be back there Friday night, but right now he's imaginary. He's over there, so you go block him.
That's right. Just get used to running through the drills, just making sure.
Yeah. Well, you got to have some safety, so you put everybody on the line of scrimmage because you need the offensive line to need somebody there to block. But then in the secondary openings back there, you can leave them blank.
Yeah, you can leave. Yeah, that's a good philosophy.
Yeah. So guys say, Coach, who wants to block? I said, well, he'll be there Friday night.
Yeah, find him. You will see him.
Yeah, he'll be there Friday night because they have 11 people over there. But I've had eight on defense over there. On the defensive side. But that's 1A football. All 1A coaches will tell you now. Most of them will tell you that.
Yeah. So so you're right, Coach, with 1A. How'd you ended up turning it around, getting the state championship, winning?
Well, out of the few I had, I got rid of a few that wasn't there for my program.
Oh, some of the players?
Yeah, I mean,
So what would want a player to get rid of them because they get rid of themselves? What, being undisciplined?
Well, discipline, and I was a strong believer in that, and that's what I was hired to do. The superintendent hired me, said, Coach, I want to say, okay, if you win a game. He said, but I want some discipline because, you know, they used after the game, they lose, they want to fight somebody and all that kind of foolishness of nonsense.
Yeah.
But and then you show up for practice one day and then you skip the next day. I don't see you. I'll skip 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I've already picked up your equipment. That's it. You gone.
That's right.
And so, you know, we win 3 games one year, and then the next year we won 4.
Yes, sir.
The crowd started getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that buzz, right? That buzz start generating.
Something going on.
Yeah.
And so, you know, so the first year we made the playoffs, and after that, things picked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been there about 3 years before we made the playoffs. And
yeah, because you started in 73, right, Coach?
Yeah, it was 73, it was 74, 75, but 70. I think we made the playoff in 76. I think that year. But anyway, we went to Woodruff.
Okay. That's up there with the upstate, right?
Yeah, we were double A, one of the most powerful teams in double A at the time. I think they dressed out about 70. And so we went up there. It was an experience. We got beat, 40-something to nothing, but it's the experience of getting there.
You got to get, because you don't know how you got to get there, right? Because most people who win championships, they face obstacles. Like you just ain't gonna wake up and win a championship.
Oh, no.
Like you look at who is it? Like the Pistons and the Bulls. The Bulls had to get beat down by the Pistons first. Then they realized, okay, this is what we got to do. But that makes sense. So you took that L up there, and then what happened the next year?
Well, the next year, you know, then these guys knew what it, you know, the kind of program that it takes to go to play in the playoffs.
That's right.
No, we had no clue what we were.
Y'all was just happy to be there.
Oh yeah, I mean, we didn't know. We thought it was, my players, they thought this was a football game. But then you run up a team like Woodruff with the legendary Willie Varner as the coach.
Yeah.
And you know, they got about 9 people on the staff and a stadium that looks like, good Lord, heaven. And it was just double A school, firing off cannons like, you know, back in that day, you could fire off cannons.
So every time they score, you hear a cannon.
Oh yeah, man, shoot, you had 2 of them, boom, boom. I said, so, you know, but after that game, and we played the second half, we played a good second half, I thought. But the first half, we had teacup eyes, you know.
Y'all were just in awe.
Oh, we was in awe, man. You know, we were glad to be there and didn't know what to do. But each year, the talent pool started to pick up.
Okay, that's good.
Then we got a good JV. Our JV program started. We finally got it up and running.
So you had a pipeline.
Yeah. Finally got the JV program running. And then the first year, we arrived. We made it to the state championship for the first time.
Got there. Oh man, how was the time? I know it was electric.
Well, yeah, because Ed's brother was our running back. He was our feature back, Bobby Brown. And that was Ed's brother. And man, shoot, you talking about a running back.
Really?
We were known for good running backs anyway. He was a horse. I mean, and so the talent picked up, and then some kids transferred.
Transferred into y'all?
Yeah, you know, their parents was sending them to Florence in it, you know, and they decided to come on back home. Oh yeah, okay. Because so,
what is it, West Florence and
West Florence, Wilson, and South Florence?
Got it. Yeah.
We're 4A schools. Well, Wilson not 3A, but I think Wilson 3. Yeah, it's 3A now. But anyway, those were big schools, and a lot of those kids, a lot of our kids were going over to school over the West and South.
So y'all was losing talent anyway.
Yeah, we was losing talent. But then once we started winning, they started coming back home.
Yeah.
And so,
and you know what you should have told them, Coach? I knew you was coming. Well, what took you so long to get here?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, but but the talent pool picked up, and the coaching staff, you had to hire more coaches.
Yeah.
And after that, it was, you get on a roll. And but a guy told me years ago up in Clover, one of the coaches, he said, coaching is 50% up here in the head and another 50% talent. You got to make them think they can do something they can't do.
That's right. That's a good philosophy.
Yeah, I tell you, because we went to some state championship years that there's no way we're supposed to be there.
Shouldn't even been there, ain't it?
Shouldn't even been there. That's exactly. But I told him, I said, we get in the dressing room. I tell them, we can do things that you really think you can't do.
Yeah.
You got to make them believe that. If they believe that, then hey, don't tell it.
Yeah. So when because y'all used to play at what, Columbia, USC, or did y'all play at other teams high school?
No, when we first started, the first 2 years we played it at the home. It was home and home. Whoever was designated had that home game.
Yeah,
that's tough to do. That's tough, to ask a team to play for a state championship, and it's basically a home game for the team.
And they probably got home cooking.
Yeah, because I know my first year we played East Clarendon, which is right there from us. In the state championship, our little stadium was so small, so we had to play in Lamar.
Okay, Lamar, yeah.
On the coolest night I ever seen in my life, but anyway. And then the next year we played Louisville.
That's Coach, was that Coach McMurray?
Well, that's before he got there.
Before he got there.
Moose Wallace was there. I think Coach McMurray came about a year or two after Moose left. Because we played Benny in some other championship games. They went lower, upper state and all that. But anyway, the deal is, the first year we couldn't even play in our own stadium. And we were the home team because we didn't have enough seats.
Too small, yeah.
You have to have enough seats, to host a championship game. But anyway, we got there. And that's the main thing. Get to a state championship. And then from then on, they get that taste. The students get that, they get that taste of it. And man, it just starts snowballing.
So, yeah. And when you won them, how was the time after that?
Oh man, and we lost some we should have won.
Yeah.
And but our first win was in '92. Played Lakeview.
Okay.
And there was of course, Timmonsville and Lakeview is one of those kind of games that it's gonna go down to the end, no matter what. But anyway, we played Lakeview over in Florence because, like I said, the stadium was still too small. So we played at Memorial Stadium in Florence.
Okay.
And there was a pretty good crowd out there. But we the game came down to the last. Lakeview was on the 1 yard line, and they ran a tall sweep, and we stuffed them, and that was it. Ball game over.
Man, how was that? I know that was.
Oh man,
where was your nerves, Coach? What was your nerves?
I had no nerves at that time, man. I was falling all, players falling all, the kids. First state championship after we lost the year before the Great Falls in the same situation. We lost.
Really?
The year before, we lost the state championship in the same situation, except we didn't stop them. They scored.
Oh man!
Then the following year, we lost. We won in the same situation.
That's what I'm talking about. You gotta keep. That's what sports is. You learn from your mistakes, and I bet when you got home, you probably was like, or even on that bus ride going back, like, man.
Yeah. But for some reason that I don't know, over the years, and I look back on it, we always went to the state championship in twos.
Okay. So y'all went back to back?
Back to back every year. And I think we played in 11, so, but we always go back to back. Now, I have no idea.
Yeah.
We'll always be back to back.
Yeah, man, that's good. So you had a good junior, senior squad and all that to be able to have that continuity.
Yeah, and but the kids, And I give it to the kids. It was all them. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of coaching we were doing. They were just tough nuts. Tough kids, because we got them start getting them in the weight room and stuff like that. But they were just good athletes, man. Them guys, the running backs we had, man, them were good.
There was Coach, how'd you all your resume is impeccable. I got to tell you that. How'd you? Well, what took so long for you to get into North-South game as a coach? Then we'll talk about the Shrine Bowl, but what took so long to get into these games?
Well,
I got a theory, but I'll keep it to myself.
Well, the deal is, a lot of people don't believe you can coach. You always got
after going to these championships, they don't believe you can coach.
When you got good talent, you got talent, and so it's not your coaching. It's all that talent. You loaded with talent. You see what I'm saying?
Use they use.
Yeah, you loaded with talent. Not you coaching somebody, but if you loaded with talent, you don't have to be able to coach. You just take them out there and let them play, and they'll beat everybody in sight. But the deal is, you just have to be patient, wait your turn, hope things change, because and that's what basically happened.
Yeah.
Now, I'm the first North-South coach assistant, but it wasn't about one or two before me.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. And one of my theories is this, Coach. Well, it's just an observation, not a theory. But a lot of the 1A schools, you have a lot of coaches that look like me and you, 1A schools.
Right. Absolutely.
2A schools is kind of up in the air. Absolutely. But then you get the 3A and 4A, and them slots don't come open. And those usually the Shrine Bowl coaches, and that's what they pull from North-South games and Shrine Bowls, those 3A and 4A coaches, Big 6 teams.
That's right. And see, I've been in coaching, over 20-something years by the time I got chosen, and I'm sure there's some guys that were chosen hadn't been in that long.
Yeah.
I had to be in it over 20-something years, but by the time I get chosen, North-South and the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah. Because so it's a lot of politics at play, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you got, the committee is the one that votes you on these different staffs, the coach association committees and stuff like that.
Yeah, because what happens, Coach, you get the same coaches in these games. They're going to pick the same players' friends. And, okay, your coaches, that's your player down there, I'm going to give him a shot. So now you got schools like Timmonsville, Lamar, Estill, Hampton, Allendale, all these schools that I know, who looking out for them?
They ain't gonna get anybody on that team. It's gonna be hard to do. Even when I coached, now we did take a single A player. Now in the North-South, they do make it a little bit better.
Yeah, North-South does.
Take so many from each region.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
so many. You have to take a 1A player. You have to take 2A, but in the Shrine Bowl it's not like that.
It ain't like that. Yeah.
You don't have to take any 1A players if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But you have to wait your turn and see if there's not a whole lot of black coaches.
Yeah.
Especially head coaches. And that's the pool they usually go to for North-South and Shrine Bowl coaches. They usually head. I think about 8 years ago or 9, might be a little bit longer. They started taking at least one assistant coach.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, everybody that's coaching on the North-South and Shrine Bowl, they're head coaches.
They're head coaches, yeah. And
so if there ain't a whole lot of head coaches, then there ain't gonna be a whole lot of people that's on the North-South and Shrine Bowl.
That's right. That's right.
And so on that Shrine Bowl staff, everybody's a head coach. In North-South, everybody's a head coach.
Yeah.
Until they change the rule, and now you can bring one assistant with you.
Okay, that makes sense. So when you got that call for the Shrine Bowl, how was that?
Oh man, I think it was a relief for one thing. Now, I had been an assistant coach.
Yeah.
In the Shrine Bowl, but that had been 8 8 or 10 years before then. And so once you become an assistant, then you know eventually you think you're gonna be a head coach. You just don't know when.
You just don't know, yeah.
If you're still in it, because a lot of coaches got out of it before they became head coaches.
That's right.
So
whether they just retire or they just old.
Yeah, they went into something else, and so they. But once I became, the thing that got me was when I first got an assistant coach in the Shrine Bowl. We used to play out in Charlotte, and so I said, "Oh man!" I was kind of, I wondered, could I do the job?
Yes, sir.
And I talked to the coach too. I said, "Coach," I said, "Can I get the job? You think I can get the job done?" He said, "Coach, don't worry about it. He said, so you know what you're doing. You coach. I coach DBs. You know our schemes. You know our coverage." I said, "But because I want to make sure I did a good job."
Yes, sir.
Because if you want to move to the next level, and want to bring somebody else with you, then you're going to make sure you do a good job. So they say, "You guys can coach."
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Yeah. So, man, that's good. First black coach in the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah. You do a lot.
South Carolina.
Yep, South Carolina. The first head coach for Norfolk, South Carolina.
Man.
Yeah.
That is long overdue, but I'm glad I'm talking to you. So
yeah.
Now we need more.
And then plus I was able to bring one of my assistants, which is Coach Wright, Gerald Wright, with me, and then and so we had 2 people of color.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gerald went with me, and so that's what happens when you diverse this thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's important. Yeah. Yeah.
But I had a great staff, and I think the key to that whole thing is to put your staff. I mean, you don't have anything to do with picking them.
Yeah.
You have something to do with putting them in the right places.
Yeah, that's right.
Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators, and people that working with your offensive line, defensive line, and all these guys are head coaches.
Yes, sir.
And come good programs. And so, you give them their respect, and they basically field coaches.
That's right, just field them.
That's and my job to make sure everything was running right, and put them in the right spots.
That's good. Yeah. So you were coach to the coaches pretty much when you were trying.
And because it worked out, because we won, and that was the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, because they lost two or three games in a row. South Carolina lost 2 or 3 games in a row.
Y'all got to win.
Well, because South Carolina always have been we've been smaller than North Carolina, but we had more wins because both South Carolina and North Carolina are 2 different animals.
Yeah, it's 2 different, ain't it, Coach?
Oh yeah, now North Carolina's catching up now. They're trying to catch up now. They got some talent up there now. But I remember the time. I mean, they in the North, South, and the Shrine Bowl. No, not the Shrine Bowl, North, South, but the Shrine Bowl. I mean, South Carolina. They beat them down like a drum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
great sophomore, ain't it?
Oh yeah, every year. But they begin to catch up a little bit now.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps the regions out, so that's good.
Yeah. But it's a great experience, and because I was able to coach guys that's kind of talented. I mean, hey, we didn't see them kind of guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that I ain't think about that part.
No, man, them guys, man, you gonna be at 6'5", about 310 and 6'4". Man, I ain't see them kind of guys. I had offensive line. We were undefeated and won the state championship. Played up at William Bryce, and my right guard was about 5'5". 170 something, I believe, 160 something. But he was a grown man though.
Yeah, he had it.
Well, he's a grown man. He bench pressed about 285.
No, that's all right, Coach.
Yeah, and see, my thing is Then you get to the Shrine Bowl, and you see guys, man, we got 6'5". They go to D1, and they 6'5", 275, 280. I said, good Lord, have mercy. But you know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's some great experiences.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed that. And
So
the coaches have a great kid,
yeah.
great guy. We see each other right now, man. I don't care if you see them on the street. Everybody remember that Shrine Bowl.
That's good. So you develop another community and a family of support.
Oh yeah, man. I see them at the coaches clinics. Shoot, it's like we coaching again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Coach, great third quarter. Next fourth quarter, we're going to talk about how you use sports and football to help develop these young men.
Okay.
So fourth quarter.